Now, we do need to get to the NHLPA player poll before we get into the press conference. Now, is there anything about this that sticks out that you guys want to hit, or should I go through all of these and we can discuss?
I think go through them.
Go through the
fun. Yeah.
Okay. This is, again, as voted on by the player. The NHL player poll is back with the 2021 edition. Nearly 500 players were surveyed on 14 hockey-related questions during a unique pandemic-shortened season. Players weighed in on a variety of topics covering on-ice skills, the schedule, the player style, and their sticks in their suits, and more. Here are the results. On ice, who is the best goal scorer? In first place, Austin Matthews. Not really surprised. He won the Rocket Richard.
The guy who scored the most goals was voted best goal scorer.
But
nothing gets past these guys.
I think what's great too is Austin can score goals in like 6 or 7 different ways.
Yeah,
that's the thing. He does score goals, like insane goals. Ovechkin in second place, no surprise. Surprisingly, in third and fourth, it's what's surprising about this is how close they are. David Pastrnak got 6% of the vote. Connor McDavid with 4.56%, so less than a percentage point. I mean, Connor McDavid's a pretty good goal scorer. So is David Pastrnak.
It's hard to overreact because whenever I see that slim a margin, I'm like, okay, we're talking about 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
Difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
McDavid, he just doesn't get enough respect in that regard. He doesn't get enough respect.
No respect.
He's the Rodney Dangerfield of the NHL.
Right. He scores 30 goals. But everybody's like, well, he had 70 assists. We got to focus on that.
Yeah.
30 goals is no joke in a 56-game season.
No, he plays with Draisaitl. It means less.
Now, if you're the best player at your position as voted on by other players, and you're the best by 57%. So the next closest guy is 57 points behind you. That's got to be, to me, the Norris Trophy right there. If you're a defenseman. Victor Hedman, 64% of players said he is the best defenseman in the NHL. The next closest is Roman Josi at 7.35%.
That's pretty cool.
I think if you're Victor Hedman, you look at that and go, that might even matter more than the Norris Trophy. I know the trophy's got a trophy, it's got the thing and the plaques and all the other defensemen are on it, whatever. But when your peers look at you with that much respect, that's pretty cool.
It's unbelievable. It's
also on that list. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, and I'm wondering how many of these votes, because I on purpose avoided all these lists so that we could go through them on the show.
Oh, nice.
I wonder how many of these names are there based on reputation, because remember, they didn't play them this year.
Well, interesting you say that, because number 3, Cale Makar, 7.35%. So he tied Roman Josi, but I guess they give tie goes to the veteran. At 2%.
That's funny.
Drew Doughty.
Drew Doughty was voted as the 4th best defenseman in the NHL amongst players,
which means that
voted for himself.
Well, yeah, the LA Kings voted for Drew Doughty.
That's hilarious.
And then here's the other one is John Carlson from Washington, which means the Caps voted for John Carlson.
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
confidently. Yes.
It doesn't mean he's not good. In fact, I think Carlson's probably. I mean, Drew Doughty had a comeback year.
Let's figure it out. What percent of the vote did he get, and how many players are there?
2.73%, and there were 500 players. 500 players surveyed.
So 500 times 0.0273. You said?
Yep.
Yeah, so about 13 players.
Oh, okay.
So most of the Kings.
Yeah, that makes
some
sense.
of them didn't know, which is. Man,
Muzzin might be one of them.
Doughty after not voting for him. Imagine he finds out. Ooh. Woo. Yikes.
Man.
I don't want to be in that locker room for that. Best goalie. Again, I know the Vezina Trophy has the Vezina name. But if you win best goalie by 46%, meaning you're 46 points up on the next closest guy, is that not the greater honor?
Yeah.
And that honor is this year going to Andrei Vasilevsky with 54% of the vote.
Especially in hockey, where everybody cares about the opinions of hockey people. Like being honored by your peers like this, it probably means a lot to these guys.
I think it matters to see when the players play against each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like the players know.
Andrei Vasilevsky is 26, turns 27 this July. So we are only in the mid-20s of what I am confidently saying is a Hall of Fame career.
Oh, yeah. You could make the argument now. If they win the cup again this year, he could retire, and you probably could make the argument.
Hardware is big. Hardware's big.
The next closest guy, by the way, Marc-Andre Fleury at 8.88%, so about 9%. And then you've got Carey Price at 8.25, Connor Hellebuck at 5%, and which is about the Winnipeg Jets, and then Tuukka Rask at 4%. By the way, Connor Hellebuck is the second best goalie in the league. If it's Vasilevsky at number 1, Hellebuck is number 2. You can't tell me otherwise.
Jack Campbell gets my vote.
Yeah.
He did win 11 straight games. I mean, record says for itself, right? I mean, and if we're going to go off that, Mike Smith should be in there. He won 9 games in a row, I think. It was like 9, 8, or is it 8? No, he started the season. So
Tuukka Rask he was a 913 on the Bruins this year. He didn't even have the best save percentage on the Bruins.
Yeah,
that's a reputation
Bruins voted
vote.
for Tuukka Rask.
That's a reputation vote, man. Like, and he's not bad. There's another guy who may just end up in the Hall of Fame, but no, best. No.
Now
What's next?
we have a tie for most complete player. So Jesse, who would you say is tied in first for most complete player in the NHL? Complete being the key word.
Crosby McDavid.
Crosby McDavid. Steven.
I'm going to say they galaxy brained it just like the rest of us and went, all right, who are the best players? So let's take away the 5 best ones and go with some of the dudes in the middle. So I think players treated this like it's the Selke.
Oh, it might be Bergeron.
So who's it going to be?
It's going to be, we're talking Bergeron. We're talking Barkov.
Give me 2 names. 2 names.
Those were 2 names.
Is that the end of your list?
It is now.
It wasn't going to be.
No. You're gonna
Yeah,
name
who else are
5
you going to say?
guys.
Who else are you going to say? Who else are you going to say?
Well, Taves used to be the free space, but he didn't play. Screw it. Those 2.
Well, Steve, you got 2 and 3 right. Jesse, you got
amazing.
You got 1 right, and you said the second one later. Bergeron. Crosby and Bergeron tied at 23.78% as the most complete players in the NHL. Now, coming in at number 3, Alexander Barkov.
Oh, wow. Well, you go, Steve.
At number 4, and I'm surprised it's only 7%, Connor McDavid.
Because it's the Selke.
Yeah.
Is he not? I guess, yeah, defensively.
Yeah, you could argue that.
You could argue that.
Bergeron's a more complete player. Semantics.
Rounding out the top 6, because there's a top 6 on this one, Nate McKinnon at 5.52% and Anze Kopitar at 4.46%. If you're making this the Selke, Kopitar needs to rate higher.
Oh, God. That's just.
But the team's not very good.
Reputation vote. McDavid, I think, is shit on too hard for his defensive play. Like, I've seen the numbers. His defense is atrocious. But I think
they're too hard on him.
Well, they're too hard on him because I think he plays the way he has to for the Oilers. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like if he had more support, if the Oilers had more depth up front, like as if Connor McDavid wouldn't buy in and like back check and stuff. You know what I mean? He's got to feed an army. This guy, like he's got to. What percent of Edmonton's offense came off of his stick, whether it was goals or assists?
It was a lot.
He's got to do everything. If the day he does not have to do everything is the day he becomes a much better defensive player, I think. What?
I just saw a really funny tweet that I'm going to bring up at the end of the show. And I think you guys are going to really like it.
What's next on the poll?
I'll get it next on the poll.
Stop scrolling Twitter mid-podcast.
No, I'm pulling it. I was actually just searching something and then something else came up. Okay, Steven.
Yes.
If you had to win one game, it's game 7 for the Leafs.
Fuck.
And you're against Montreal, Columbus, Boston.
With the same time?
You have one player in any position that you want on your team. Who's that player? You get to
I get to pick anyone in the league?
Anyone in the league.
Is that the question they were asked?
That's the question. You have to win one game.
Number 1, I think, is going to be Carey Price.
Interesting.
Yeah. I guess I'm not right.
No, I'm going to react the exact same way with Steve's guess. Okay. Ready?
Boy, that's so hard. I know they lost first round 3 straight years. I got to go with Sid.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Sid was number 2. Connor McDavid at number 1 with 33%.
Oh wow.
Or 36%, excuse me. Sydney had 23, and then basically
That's fascinating.
These were team votes. McKinnon at 5.87, Bergeron at 4.57, Vasilevsky at 4.57, Patrick Kane at 3.48%. By the way, none of those players are bad picks.
No.
I just think if you're going to pick someone, Connor McDavid and Sidney Crosby do make the most sense.
That's crazy.
But
I think that's
Vasilevsky
fascinating that the players won with McDavid.
I think it depends on when the vote happens, because we don't really know that. And I wonder if, looking at it now, if you'd be like, well, Carey Price for sure. Right.
So there were actually 2 that I saw. One was most fashionable, which I don't know if we'll get to. The other was best passer. So the answer to the question that Adam just said makes the results for best passer even more mystifying.
Okay. Interesting. Well, we're going to get to who has the best shot. Should I wait on best passer or should I go right to it?
No, do best shot.
Yeah.
Best shot? Okay. So best shot.
Ovi.
Ovi wins. Matthews 2. Who's 3?
Pasta.
It's hard. It's so hard to bet against Ovi, Yeah, probably Pasta. Yeah, probably Pasta.
You guys didn't think about Shea Weber? With that cannon? Because Shea Weber.
Crumple it up in a ball, throw it out. List of garbage.
Shea Weber could kill a man with that shot. I don't know if that makes it the best one. It just makes it the hardest shot.
Right.
That's
I
so
don't know.
reputation.
It's
That's
just hard.
so reputation.
Well, is it accurate? Like he keeps it low, but like is Shea Weber picking corners? I don't. I
He
know
scores a shitload, but in the entire National Hockey League,
And then number 2, Patrick Laine. Number 2. Number 4, Laine. Number 5, McKinnon. Number 6, Pasternak.
Laine. Laine's. We were wailing on Weber. Laine's a horrible pick.
You think I think he's got a good shot.
I do too. But he scored 10 goals this season.
Yeah, but who has the best physical shot?
What? So he just never got open ever.
Well, the Columbus Blue Jackets were a tire fire this year. You know that. Come on.
I guess.
You know what Patrick Laine can do, Steve. Come on.
I know what he can do, but he didn't do it.
I honestly didn't think this would spark so much debate.
Yeah, you're right. This is dumb. Keep going.
No, that's what hockey is, guys.
This
It's
is
dumb.
awesome.
This is why we do this.
This is awesome.
All right. Hockey is dumb. Best stick handler. Who do you give it to?
Kane's probably in there.
Kane.
You give it to Kane. Steve, pick one.
Probably him.
Patrick Kane. Number 2.
Number 2.
I wonder if a guy like Giroux is still in there on rep.
That's a good guess.
Interesting.
Is
So that's a yes?
that correct?
That's a
our
yes.
guess.
He's one of the 5, right?
No,
Shut up.
he's not. Kane, McDavid.
Oh, McDavid. Oh, there you go.
They took up 75% of the vote, just those 2 players.
Wow.
And then with the remaining 25%, you have McKinnon, Matthews, Barzal, and Barkov. The Matthews one is interesting. I know he can really handle the puck, but I don't see him have like even Mitch Marner, I would say maybe is a better stick handler than Austin Matthews. Austin's just a big body boy.
He does so much stuff in tight, Matthews.
What? That's true.
He does it so casually too. Like he just
Maybe that's what it is. He makes it look easy.
Like the quick releases that he does really in tight and he's able to get so much on the shot. That probably counts when the guys are thinking about it,
He does so many. Oh God. He is, when I talk about the difference between the Islander style of hockey versus you can shut your brain off, I can shut my brain off and ooh and ah at Matthews every shift, even if not a single scoring chance is generated. Like, the stuff he does. That's one of the things I miss most about watching the Leafs right now. I miss watching Matthews play. He's so fun. Ugh.